video for you today, or actually videoing an interactive card. How's that? That's more like it. All right, this is what we have. Yeah, cute. And when you open it, the front spins around and you can see the back. Whoops. But this is all loosey-goosey. So anyway, this is borrowed from my scrapbook days. I like to say 100 years ago, but we all know scrapbooking has only been popular for 80 years, so 80 years ago. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one. It took me a while to work it out, and I had to use what I had. The original design is with a rubber band, but it does take a specific kind of rubber band, and in this case, if I were to have used this, you would have seen quite a large lump right here. Right now, it's not really all that noticeable. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this, and just hang on. We're going to turn the camera down and get going. Okay, I think we're ready to go. If I can get the camera to stop bouncing. There we go. All right, let's get started. First, card base. So this is your basic half sheet card base. You guys have heard me say this 100 times, and you know what? I'll say it 100 more. This is a side opening. This is petal pink. We have 21 centimeters by 14.85. If you are working in metric, this is going to be 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score halfway, which in metric is 10.5 and 4.25 for imperial. Next, we have 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now, you can do the same or you can do a coordinating piece, because what's going to happen is one is going to go here and the other one is going to go here. So however you would like to do that, it's totally up to you. There is another coordinating design in this particular piece, and this is the this is from the Love. Oh, I keep calling it Love Actually. That's not the name of it. It's a really beautiful set. It's this Forever Love. Love Actually is moving. Anyway, so you're going to cut 2 pieces. They are short all the way around. This is your basic first layer. So like I said, if you've been following me, you know this too. So this is going to be 10 meters. One more time. 10 centimeters by 14.4. If you're working in imperial, we have 4 by 5.25. So you're going to cut 2 of these, and then you're going to cut a card liner. I highly recommend a card liner for this, and you'll see why as we get going. This is in Very Vanilla, which coordinates beautiful with this paper. And this is cut exactly the same size as the paper, 10 centimeters by 14.4, and or 4 by 5.25. So we've got these 3 the same size. Next thing you're going to need is a scrap of cardstock. It needs to be big enough to cut 2 of these circles out of. All right, so I don't know. That's basically, if you had just another quarter sheet of cardstock, that would be plenty, because that's all you're going to need. All right, time to get to the fun stuff. Let's start with the pretty bits on the outside. What I have done, let's pick these up and move them. Now, you can either cut 2 circles and stamp them, or you can stamp them first and then cut them. Either way. But this is the middle-sized circle from the set. I'm using Everyday Details. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, Everyday Details. You guys might have noticed I've already done these 2. I love these images. They're so pretty. But what's even more fun is this die set. Let me show this to you. It's a huge die set. First you get the rectangles with the same bits. This center rectangle is the same as that, only it's square. So you can cut out, you can put in. Then you have this really interesting dot pattern maker. And then on the other side, I do mine back to back, it's easier. You've got the interactive circles, and you've got some strips to cut. These are fun, especially if you're interested in maybe sort of creating your own ribbon. It turns out really cool. Let's cut a piece of a piece of cardstock just slightly larger than this, and then put it in there, and then you can sort of tie a faux bow with it. looks awesome. I'll have to do one so you guys can see it. Now, like I said, I've already cut this. I normally don't bother with getting out the die machine and, oh, no, it's stuck on there. I can't get it out. But in this case, I need to show you how to do it. So we're going to do this part, get this out of the way, put it away, and do this. This is one of the sentiments that is inside. It says, wishing you so much joy on this special day. And what I did was I just simply colored this with color pencils. I love color pencils. You can color it with anything you wanted. If you wish to go the color pencil route, I have Flirty Flamingo. There is not a petal pink color in there. This was sort of the closest, and I sort of liked it. It has a bit of a peachy tone to it. And now basically, the way I know how to do all kinds of coloring when it comes to color pencils. But this, I'm going to just show you super simple way. So just color around the outside. Just sort of draw some lines here like that. And then do it again on this one. I don't know if you guys remember this. I know when I was in school, like, you know, younger school. We call it grammar school in the States. I'm not sure what's called here. Junior school, maybe? Anyway, so when you had color books, you always outlined the things, and then you filled in the color. And that was supposed to be the cool way to color. Although maybe that's just my generation. I don't know. But anyway, you can see what I've done here. I'll just lay down some color all the way around. I'm coloring on top of the brown like that. Then I'm going to take my yellow. This is Daffodil Delight. Just color a little bright spot in the center. This is Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to basically do the same thing. Going to outline it like this. I know a lot of people are sort of afraid of using color. They don't consider themselves artists. But using color doesn't really give you the title of being artist. The title of being artist comes when you sit down and you create something, and then you are the artist. It doesn't matter if you do it black and white, with stamps, with crochet, knitting, anything you can think of. If you have sat and crafted it and created something, even if you're copying somebody else, that's art. I know some people would disagree with me, but there you go. All right, so that's what we've done. That is your simple, super coloring. Now you take a blender pen. You can do one of two things. You can either do the blender pen or you can do the color lifter. In this case, since it's a tiny area, I prefer the blender pen. So what you do is you just put the yeah, you guys can do that. Put the blender pen down and just draw some little circles with it, just barely touching it to it. There we go. And this is going to kind of spread your color out a little bit. And voila, you have a lovely shadowed flower. And it really didn't take a lot of effort. Okay, now I'm going to clean off. You see the stuff gets onto... I broke the end of my blender pen, sorry. Dropped it on the floor. Can't do that. It's not good for it. And I'm just going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of touch the surface in with the wet blender pen. And so we still have our dark outside edges, but we have squished a little bit of the green color in. So there's not quite so much of a line there. And that's it. That's easy peasy. Actually, I think I'm going to pull some of this way. Because that's supposed to be pink right there, and I missed a spot. Oh no, don't fire me. There we go. Alrighty. That's it. That's easy. I knew that would only take a minute. Now, lately I've been spattering things. I've really been enjoying it. Don't know why, don't know what's come over me, but I'm having so much fun with the spatter. We're going to spatter some more. My favorite spatter tool happens to be the Stampin' Right Pecan Pie marker. It's not as hard and, like the black is, but you absolutely could use black. If you don't have any pecan pie or any brown, go for the black. And you basically just flick it. I'm hitting the end here in case you can't see this. And you just kind of flick it at your project. Come on now. Well, it's going to flick small spots today. Yeah, sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small. That's probably too much, but it looks all right to me. So there we go. Now we have flicked. That should be all she wrote, shouldn't it? And since this will pretty much dry immediately, we're done with this. I'll put that away. Now the fun part. The first time I did this, I did not do this step I'm about to show you. And oh Lord, I wish I had. I can admit to my mistake and show it to you when we're done. But as you can guess, the card, she is crooked. Now I want you to use removable tape and tape this down. Now you can see I am putting it where it should be as if it were glued. We are not gluing yet. Now it's good. I need to just get my tape out here. I've got some pieces I used earlier. I reuse it over and over again, which means I'll probably never use up that giant roll. I got this from Amazon. If you're in the UK, that is the only place I found it. If you're in the US or Australia, pretty much any office supply will have this. All right. Here is number one. Now, we're going to find the center of our piece here. Oh, come on, you could have folded over for me. There we go. So we know that this is 10 centimeters. So half is going to be, oh, come on now. It's not sticking on here. I like this thing, but sometimes I can't see. And you get a pencil, and half of 10 centimeters is 5. So I'm going to put a little dot right here. And now we're going to go this way. And this is 14 point. Come on, folks. It's going to give me a hard time. That means the rest of this video is going to get interesting. There you go. This is 14.4, so we're going to put a little mark at 7.2. There we go. Now, I'm going to draw a line, very light line. I'm going to just take her all the way across, like that. Then we will draw one this way. Center point here, and line. All right, and where that line bisects is where our circle is going to be cut. I'm not too worried about the inside because we're going to cut it off. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tape the inside piece down. Like that. Hooray for removable tape. If I can actually get it up here. You would think with fingernails this whole thing would be easier, but it's not. So I have very, very dry hands. I know I've mentioned this before. I don't know if anybody else has played with that, but it seems like everything just slips out of my hands. Now that this is taped down firmly, we're going to put our circle in the center. Make sure you put the cutting edge down. I don't know about you guys, but I have definitely, very most definitely run it through the die cutter and not cut my paper because it was facing up. How embarrassing! Okay, that looks centered to me. All right, let's get another bit of this paper out. I mean, paper, tape. Okay. And here. Now, what I probably should have done was laid down my plate first and just taped it onto the plate. That would have made my life a little easier and less slidey aroundy, but slidey aroundy it is. Okay, and this is what we have. Okay, now let's run it through the machine. Let's get my sweet Bertha out here. I don't know why I call this Big Bertha. But the name stuck. All right. Apologize for a few moments here. All you're going to see is a machine and a handle. But I felt it necessary to show you guys how you set up this sandwich because it makes a difference. All right, let's run it through. Now, because I'm paranoid, according to Stampin' Up!, according to die manufacturers, according to everybody involved, that should have been enough. But I'm cutting through 3 pieces of paper, and our designer series paper is pretty seriously thick compared to other designer series paper or compared to regular, copy paper. So I'm just making sure that this gets rolled in good. All right. Smooth this. And see, whoa! Something has leapt out at me. Now, hopefully, when we pick this up, oh, beautiful, it's gone all the way through. Just pop these guys out. Well, the new tape sticks very well. And since we rolled it twice, it is particularly sticky. But that'll go away. Oh, I'm sorry, I put my arm right in the way. Okay. Check it out. Folklets. Come on. Oh, interesting. It didn't cut through the tape. Right, and now what we have here are 3 pieces of paper. That's the back side of this paper. Now, I'll tell you something fun. Some of these papers have the coordinating paper on the back, and if that were the case, I absolutely would have turned this over and used the coordinating piece. But we don't really need this. You can save this for another project. I do have to say, these little dot things drive me nuts. They get everywhere. I do have to say, the next time I make confetti or something likewise for a card, I will definitely be getting this die set out. All right, that is set aside. These are the pieces we're going to use. That's good. Everything fell out of that one. And this one, most everything fell out of this one. So we're going to be using this plain piece. And get rid of this. Thank you. And I'm going to get rid of this. And this. And we're on to the exciting stuff. All right. First off, we're going to take the pieces off. I found there is a slight difference between the front and the back, so keep them separate for your personal sanity. The only time you find the difference is if you're trying to match them up. Oh, come on. Oh, for goodness sakes. Look at that sucker. That's so stuck onto there. Ha, there she comes. Or back up here for later use. You back for later use. And you back for later use. Now, remember that one with the lines on it? That actually will tell you that you're using the front one, but in case you made them too light for you for yourself to see. Now we're going to line this back up. Okay, when we get all of the sticky tape off, we're going to line this back up. There we go. We're going to line this up here, line it up with the hole, take this piece, line up those lines, remove this, holding that down, set it aside, get your pencil back out, and mark right here and right here. You can set this side. Actually, we don't even need this piece anymore. Set it over here. Now, why did I do that? You ask yourself. Now I'm going to attach our thing. Now, another piece of equipment you have seen me use a lot, which, oh, look at a pencil mark there, which is my silicone mat. It lives on my craft table and in my heart. Okay, yeah, that was savvy, sorry. All right, we're going to take 2 pieces of linen thread. I have used the Stampin' Up! Linen thread, which I love. And look at I'm getting down to it here. This is about 5.5 inches, 14 centimeters, roughly. You don't have to get too precious as long as it covers the hole with some left over. And we're going to put some glue on here. You might think taping this will work. Well, it will to a point, but it's much better if you can get the glue on here. So we're going to put glue on our line. And kind of up. And do the same here for this line. And then we want to lay a little more there. We're going to lay these 2 pieces of thread side by side. The side by side thing is actually rather important, because they need to be, this is what will make the card twist. Now, if we were using a rubber band, which so would be my preference, but I couldn't find one to fit, you need a very thin rubber band. All right, when you get this lined up, you need to sit for a moment and hold it. How boring is that? I wonder if we can find something to talk about here. I'm sure I can rattle on about something. Oh, I wish I could show you the scrapbook page. My daughter actually has it. It's in the States. But this was part of her, like a 4-page swim team spread. And this was on the 2 opposing pages. And I did a very large circle out of the center of that one. And I had her sort of formal swim team picture on one side, and I had her group, the team picture on the other side. And it turned out so cute. But I had to actually use a small salad plate. All right, so there we go. So you can see this is tight, but not super, pulled mega taut. Now let's stick the other one on here. Kind of wipe it through the glue a bit and set it right next to its friend. Oops. And just hold that another minute. And then all around it, I put, you know, pictures of them swimming and their swim meets. And I was so proud of the way that one turned out. But I had never seen this done in a card. So I thought, well, why not? I'm sure somebody has somewhere. But personally, I've never seen it. So I'm not sure if somebody has done this, I would appreciate it if you make a note of it, because I would absolutely love to credit anybody else that's done it. I've said this many times. My YouTube channel, everybody should have a channel. My YouTube is for sharing, not just my things, but things that other people do as well. I feel like we're all in this, you know, we're all crafty together. And I'm not sure there are any new ideas in the world. Just the rethinking of old ones. All right, now, before we get too much further with the glue, cut off any extra bits that may be sticking out. And now we are going to glue this down. There we go. You want lots of glue. And the reason I'm using this glue sheet is we need to get fairly close to this inside rim too. We really don't want that coming loose. So we'll go around and around here. And make sure we get plenty on either side of this. And around here. And then as always, we need our edge friends. And some glue here, and some glue here. Now, after having run this through the die cutter, you actually have, I don't think there's some really faint lines on here, where the paper has pressed into the cardstock. So that helps you line it up as well. I'm going to take a quick moment and get rid of these faint lines that I drew. I find it easier to erase before you set it down. Now, see, I still didn't actually get that centered, but it's a little difficult with a circle. Okay, we down and even, and I want you to push pretty hard on either side of this, but don't push so hard around the this. You don't want to try to make that pop up. Does this make any sense at all? Because you will have a line of the threads under here. Now you could put them on the back. I don't know. I probably should have. I just wasn't thinking, to be honest. I do that sometimes. I actually do it a lot. But if you wanted to flip it over, you absolutely could do them to the inside. Now, you're going to get what I call glue spooge. That's just all there is to it. You need to have plenty of glue on this, and it needs to lay flat. Now we're going to turn over and continue. What I did was I used my, drop stuff in the floor. I used my blocks to help, keep this down anywhere it looked like it was coming up. Just don't place them too close to those center lines. All right, but we don't really have time to dry it because it would be sitting here for a little while. And I'm going to use this in a minute. Well, let's turn this over, fit our piece to the back. Now see, it's sticky. Get away. And glue the back piece on. Do you know, it probably would have been smarter to put it on the inside. I wonder if we could still do that. Yeah, why not? Hey, I like it. Just turn it this way. More glue. Does anybody else do that? When you're crafting and you're doing something, or you're, working on something that you're maybe not necessarily original idea, But you're going through it and you think, hey, I just figured out how I can improve that while I'm doing it. Which is put this on the inside. Duh. I got a little bit there. Just gonna sort of use this to flatten it down. Okay. And now we want to glue our inside piece, our card liner, as I like to call them. Tape. Prefer to tape this. Back. There we go. Now let's put this right here. Get a nice line up all the way around like that. Now what we have at this point is this. Oh, we've got some showing. How did we manage that? Can I slide it enough? No, probably trim that, but I won't do it right now. So I think a little go around with a craft knife would make that do just fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. But before we glue it down, I am going to stamp behind this. I did not do this on the original, but again, you know, improvising. So I'm going to put a little mark right here, and a little mark right here, and a little mark right here, and a little mark right here. And so now I know that I need to stamp inside that parameter because I don't want it to show. Oh, dadgummit, I did it wrong. I meant to tell you to do this. First, we're going to do this. We're going to line that up because I think that looks much nicer than having it white. I don't know. If you prefer white, you can do white. But the way that we do this is we put some glue on here. And you can do this before you do the lines or after. I think in this case, it really was good. We did this after because I had another improvement on the fly. Now we want this to line up exactly. And since it came out of this hole, it absolutely will line up exactly. Like that. And then we can open this. Give this a little push down. Now, remember what I showed you a moment ago? We penciled our little parameters in here. So we'll stamp between that line and that line and this line and this line. And I'm going to use a happy birthday stamp. I'm going to use my favorite happy birthday stamp. Apologies, if you have a favorite happy birthday stamp, you can use yours. This set has been discontinued, and it makes me sad. I'm going to stamp this in pecan pie, just like I stamped all the other bits. Oh, too much ink. I have to be careful. And since I already glued that down, I have to be really careful. Ta-da! That, to me, is the perfect size happy birthday for most cards. Now, I have the great big ones, which is fun, very much fun. If you've seen that giant stamp set, you know. My favorite one is the hello. It takes up like the core third of the whole thing, which is awesome. All right, now let's take and get rid of our little bits. And last step, we are going to put this down on the inside like that. We are going to take this. Now, this really is the best way to do this. You probably won't believe me, but I've tried several ways. I'm going to put glue on these threads. I'm going to sort of push them together about the center of the threads. I'm going to dot them with some glue. Now I am going to press this down. Because this needs to be in here and upright and looking righteous, you can't actually know where you're going to glue. Okay, that looks straight to me. Where's my take your pick? I need to make sure the threads are together. Okay, that will do. And I'm going to stick that down. Now, before it has a chance to do anything gross, we are going to carefully open it, slide our paper here like that. Double check it's still in the middle and it looks good. I'm going to line these threads back up. They got a little bit out of whack. There we go. A little more glue. Now this is a bit tough here. You really want this glued down well. The edges around here, not so much. You don't have to worry about it. But the edges around this thing need to be glued down. Now, the holes here make it a little bit difficult. Fortunately, they're very small. If you were using a regular circle die that didn't have holes in it, it might be slightly easier, but I just think this one with the holes in it, this is more clever looking. Now, we're going to line this up. Come here. Remember this one that we did? And it should line up perfectly, holes and all. In fact, I actually find having the holes on there made it easier to line it up. Okay, press down tight. Now throw your self block on there. I will let this go just a second. You want that. I know we were having glue gooeys there, but you want them to glue gooey. The threads have to be tight so they spin. If they're not, where's my original card? These are fairly tight, so you need it loose enough this way, but together. And I don't know if you can see how tightly I managed to get that. And by doing that, so we have to wipe the glue bits out. Just kind of blot a little bit, and then we're going to turn it over. Excuse me, we're going to turn it over. Come on. I let it sit there just a little too long. See, if you sort of dot that, the glue will mostly come out. Now, I highly recommend at this point, you take this card and set it upright like that and give it a good 15-20 minutes, checking to make sure that this doesn't come undone at the edges. So we don't have time to do that, sadly. Hopefully it will not come undone on me. But it does make a difference if you can make it get really good and dry. Now, what I did to decorate this, on this one, I used a triple loop bow made out of that with some of this gorgeous foil. These come in a package. It's Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foil gems, and I just think they're lovely. But what I'm going to do in this one, I'm going to do it slightly different. Is instead of having one big bow, I cut two smaller bows. Now, in case we have any glue issues, I'm going to set this down just because I don't want the inside of my card glued. Now, my very favorite glue dots that hate me. A friend of mine said, hey, put your glue dots down first. And I thought, oh, brilliant idea. Let's try that. So, let's see. There we go. Dot down first. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And dot down first. Beautiful. And this is a couple of little double loop bows I did. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to fold this gooey bit up onto the linen because that helps keep it down. And keep anything else from sticking to it for that matter. Now let's put this one here. I don't know, to me this sort of seemed a bit like a carousel or something, as if they were tied top and bottom. Maybe I'm just being silly, but I liked it, so I changed it up a bit for you guys. But you could do one big bow. Oh, let's do, this is my ribbon scissors, so. Now, I do think we need some of those lovely dots. Come here, lovely dots. There we go. See, isn't it cute? Oh, love these. Love them. All right, I think I'm going to use that same setup. So let's go with, are they small, medium, and large? Or are they just large and small? I think they're just large and small. Let's put one up here in Le Corner. And let's put one here in this corner. Because opposites attract. Don't ask me why I said that. I have no idea. I don't know what it's got to do with placing gems on. All right. And since we work in threes, let's just pop us a couple more. Come on. All right, what do you think, guys? Is this too fun? Have we got glue? We got some dry glue. Now the way we do this is you turn it once. So that's up, and then you turn it twice so that the regular is up. And then when you put this in an envelope, it will hold it flat. And the threads are twisted. That's why you need two here, because you need them to twist together. And then when you open it, ding, it should go right back, but even if it doesn't. Now, do be careful. I can show you on this one. As you can see, crooked. I did not get it lined up neatly like that. So do make your lines. That's the first mistake I made. The second mistake I made was I did not put another piece inside here. And I stamped the happy birthday wrong. The thing about that is this is really, really flimsy. And you need that extra bit of card on the other side, that extra nice piece. Now for this one, I'll show you why. You got to be careful how many times you trip it, because this poor thing has been abused. And I didn't know it would do this, and my husband showed me. So he goes, oh, this is really cool. So he was twisting and twisting and twisting, and look what happens to it. It's all warped out of shape. And when you open it, it doesn't necessarily, you know, it did a little more, but it wasn't any more impressive, and you wound up just bowing the card out of shape. So do be aware that this will happen. Now, if I were making this card for a kid, I would absolutely go and track down the rubber band, because that rubber band, you can twist it in there as much as you want. It won't bow the card up. But you need one of those really thin, really lightweight rubber bands that you can cut a piece out of. But it is going to be thicker. But if you do the double thing, I guess the line on the inside won't matter as much. If I were doing this for a man, I would go hunt down the right one. I can just imagine, you know, doing a square one for a guy, and then really twisted it up so when they open it, they go, "Ooh, wow." Same for the kids. I think us ladies sort of go, "Oh, isn't that clever?" We don't get too bent out of shape about stuff like that. Anyway, this is my clever design for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope if you are watching this on replay that you will give me a thumbs up and follow me. If you want complete instructions written down, you can go to my blog at stampinology.co.uk, and everything's written out for you. Other than that, all I have left to say is I hope you have a crafty day.